Here's your girl. Here's your deal.
He's trying to grab my gun. He's trying to grab my gun.
This handcuffed guy gets courage and the opportunity to snatch a cop's gun. Here, this inmate tries to snatch a gun from the police officer and gets... Here are 7 heart-stopping moments when officers' lives hung in the balance. Have you ever heard of a shoplifter turning a short probation period into a 9-year imprisonment? Well, you're going to witness it now. On July 8, 2021, Sandy police officers went to an AT&T store because of a shoplifting incident. When they got there, Brandon Keith Thompson tried to run away. It started as a typical scuffle, but then Thompson did something unimaginable.
What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Get on the ground! Get off! Get off me! What the f***? Dude! Listen, dude! Dude! Oh my God!
Yes, he actually fired a cop's gun while it was still in the holster. Even after such a dangerous move, he kept struggling for the weapon. The officers had to tase him to get the situation under control.
Listen, what happened? I got the gun. Let go!
As a result of the reckless act, Thompson was sentenced to over 9 years in prison on January 16, 2024. In some cases, both sides opened fire and the lucky one survives. On January 16, 2024, NYPD officers responded to a 911 call about an assault at a residential building in Brooklyn. When they arrived, the 911 caller met them outside, identified 39-year-old Melvin Butler as the suspect, and led them to an apartment where Butler was located.
Can we come in and speak to you, or do you want to step out and speak in the hallway? It's up to you.
It's like, I don't know why it's like so many of y'all.
There's not that many of us.
How many of y'all are there?
You said what?
How many?
There's a couple of us.
Cops talked with him for several minutes and informed him that he was being arrested for the assault. But he was in a mood to cooperate. As they tried to arrest him, Butler resisted and a struggle broke out.
That's not. We can step out.
Okay, but we're not stepping out now.
Yeah.
All right? So can you do me a favor and just put your hands behind your back and turn around for me? Listen, right now what you have is, she said something happened, push, she has a little bit of headache. That's minor, it's a misdemeanor, it's nothing. You're on camera, you're with us.
And then he thinks of a nefarious action that could have taken many lives.
Shoot him!
Ballistic evidence showed that Butler fired 2 shots from Officer Brennan's gun. Those shots hit 2 officers who returned the favor to save their lives. This deadly scene continued until the suspect was hit by the gunfire, dropped the weapon, and was taken into custody without further incident.
Let us go! Stay in the room! Dimitri, stay in the room! Watch out! Dimitri, stay in the room!
Both Butler and the injured officers were taken to the hospital for treatment. Butler was arrested and charged with attempted murder in the 1st degree of a police officer, assault in the 2nd degree, robbery in the 3rd degree, criminal possession of a weapon in the 2nd degree, and other related charges. These are not the only times when cops' guns were turned against them. There are a few more. Here, this inmate, while in a wheelchair, tries to snatch a gun from the police officer and gets shot by the other officer. Then there's this handcuffed guy who is being escorted by 2 police officers and still gets courage and the opportunity to snatch a cop's gun, but ends up getting a severe beating in return. And this guy who, out of nowhere, tries to steal the officer's gun at a gas station, but he does not succeed. And in this deadly encounter between a drunk driving suspect and police officer, the suspect tries to get control of the cop's gun.
Where's your girl? Here's your deal. On the ground fighting.
But a civilian intervenes just in time and saves both of them. In the next case, a simple traffic stop turns into a nightmare. On the 7th of February, 2023, a driver was caught overspeeding at 50 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone on the 300 block of West Main Street. An officer tried to stop this vehicle, which didn't stop until reaching the 400 block of North Belvedere Street. Then, the officer reached out to the driver and gave some traffic instructions to the negligent driver. But Paul Willis IV, who got out of his car, seems to ignore the officer's instructions.
Hey, man, you can stay in your car. You can stay in the car, man. You can have a seat. What? Have a seat. So I'm stopping you for going 50 miles an hour to 25.
What are you talking about here?
So I need you to sit down.
I think you're messing with me.
So no, I'm not.
I think you're messing with me. I think you're messing with me.
No, you need to sit down.
No,
have a seat. Have a seat. You're okay. I'm not messing with you. You need to have a seat.
Why are you grabbing me? Why are you grabbing me? I want to talk to somebody.
Okay, have a seat. Have a seat.
Why are you grabbing me?
Have a seat now.
Why are you grabbing me?
Have a seat. Have a seat or turn around.
I haven't done anything. Okay. I'll
sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Until then, it was just a routine traffic stop. The officer explained the reason for the stop and told Willis to get back in his car. But Willis lunged forward and grabbed the officer's gun out of nowhere.
Sit down. Sit down. He's trying to grab my gun. He's trying to grab my gun. Get off my gun! Get off my gun! Get off my gun! Get off my gun!
The cop then used physical force to retain his gun and subdue Willis. Someone posted a short snippet of this incident, trying to show that this cop is beating the poor guy for no reason. But this body cam video released by Virginia Commonwealth University justified the reason behind the use of force by the police. A criminal with a gun is dangerous, but when a drunk criminal tries to grab an officer's gun, that's the peak of peril. On May 10th, 2022, officers from the Bay County Sheriff's Office in Florida responded to a disturbance at a local zoo by a trespassing individual. The individual was reported to be aggressive and attacking customers and employees. When he was located by zoo staff, they immediately called the cops. As the police officers approached the individual, he was seen shoving a woman.
Gentleman right here. Okay. He's really like physically attacking people.
Hey, back up!
Despite attempts to calm him down, the individual resisted, leading to a struggle during which he attempted to grab the officer's taser and gun.
Taser! Get him!
This does not end here. The female officer gets entangled in the wires of the taser and gets shocked. To prevent further injury and avoid escalating the situation, the female officer disengaged from the scuffle.
Stop! Stop!
Stop resisting! I ain't resisting shit.
Hey, get off me! Let's over!
Stop!
He is violent. He is making bizarre sounds, and he does seem to be under the influence.
125A, I'm actually code 3 also from the beach.
Chill out, Pop.
He tried to grab my gun.
And four.
No! Bring my wife.
Stay on his hand.
He starts anymore, I'm tossing this and I'm going down. He starts anymore, I'm tossing this.
After what?
Can you advise your best
You fucking...
Interactions with aggressive individuals can be challenging, and officers often employ de-escalation tactics. However, in this case, attempts to calm the individual down only seem to escalate the situation further.
What's your name? I'm Deputy.
Alright,
I'm done. I'm done. You're all right.
Once restrained, the officers waited for additional units to arrive, and they transported the individual to receive medical assistance. It was later revealed that the individual was under the influence of multiple substances, including methamphetamines, cocaine, and benzodiazepines. Following the incident, police reports recommended multiple charges against the individual, including battery, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, trespassing, and aggravated assault on an officer. In such a cop-criminal encounter where the cop's gun is pointed towards the wrong direction, both lives are at stake. In this case, it's the thief who loses his life. So on the 11th of May 2023, a camera flagged the license plate of a U-Haul truck as stolen. An officer found the vehicle at a gas station and approached the suspect. While he was calling for backup, he had no idea the suspect was going to be a nightmare for him.
Now, send me a unit to Sicko up here by North Walmart. What the fuck? Sure, you're good. Get off my gun. Sicko one, Sicko one, Sicko one, go to my gun! What's reported soon?
The struggle ensued and the suspect forced the officer into the patrol car and attempted to drive away, but didn't get far before crashing into another vehicle at a nearby McDonald's. Backup officers arrived, heard the officer inside yelling for help, and intervened.
SUV! In the SUV! Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground! He's on top of me! Watch crossfire! Watch crossfire!
The suspect, identified as 38-year-old Brandon LeMaine, was pronounced dead at the scene. The officer involved was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The other officers who shot the suspect are now on restrictive duty while the incident is investigated. On March 13th in Oklahoma City, police officers were called to the Oklahoma County Crisis Intervention Center, following reports of a man creating havoc. The individual, later identified as 19-year-old Christian Green, was wielding a large metal 3-hole punch. At least 3 employees were injured, one suffering a head wound from a 3-hole punch. The police arrived to handle the situation, but it got even worse.
Dude,
Pull that gun.
put it down.
Pull
Put it down, dude. Put it down.
What,
Down, dude.
Pull that gun.
Get away from me. Put it down.
Pull that gun.
Put it down. Get away from me.
As the tension escalated, Green refused to comply with officers' commands and continued to brandish the weapon. A struggle ensued, with the officer desperately trying to maintain control. Then, in a harrowing moment caught on camera, Green reached for Maxwell's holstered weapon and fired.
Yeah. You all right?
I don't know.
Christian Green was a patient at the center, but the specific treatment he was undergoing at the time remains unclear. Fortunately, the officer and employees are expected to recover, while Green was unharmed. He has since been booked into the Oklahoma County Jail on multiple charges, including assault and battery, as well as assault with a deadly weapon. On October 15th, 2021, officers were called to a local hospital in Sparta, Wisconsin, to deal with a combative individual identified as 25-year-old Anthony Cox. Anthony was uncooperative and physically aggressive towards the officers.
Okay, stop.
Stop hurting me.
Then let go.
Stop hurting me. Stop hurting me.
How are we hurting you?
You guys are hurting me. This is most definitely.
Release your hands.
I will sue you. I will sue you federally. This is police abuse. This is police abuse, dude. I will sue you federally. You think I'm playing?
Release your hands.
Put your camera on now.
Anthony was not only threatening the police officers, but he also pushed officers and even spat at one of them. And then the struggle got more violent, and he tried to grab the cop's gun.
Fucking hospital. Police brutality. Police brutality. Police brutality. Police brutality, sir. Sir, you're hurting me. Sir, you're hurting me. Sir, you're hurting me.
You're hurting
Sir, you're
yourself.
hurting me. Sir, you're hurting me.
Anthony, stop.
Get off of me. Police brutality. I'm in a hospital and you're hurting me. Let go of the handcuffs.
Eventually, after a prolonged struggle, Anthony was subdued and taken into custody. He faced multiple charges, including felonies for attempting to disarm an officer, battery and threats, as well as misdemeanors for resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. So, here we are with some life-threatening cop-suspect encounters. Despite the inherent dangers, officers remain steadfast in their commitment to protect and serve. They are entitled to uphold the law and ensure the safety of others, and in doing so, they sometimes have to risk their lives.
North Walmart. What the fuck?